Escape the Backrooms, probably the most popular Backrooms game to date. Recently I've completed a comprehensive walkthrough on this game that you should definitely check out. Each level has its unique challenges and some were executed better than others, so in this video I'll rank all the Escape the Backrooms levels from worst to best. So on the bottom of the list I'm going to put the end. The objective is to go on an Easter egg hunt for 24 to 48 VHS tapes, depending on how many players are in the game. This seems fun at first, but when you repeatedly die from the scratcher and have to restart from the beginning, it gets pretty tedious. The scratcher also has super hearing vision, meaning you have to cramp your finger holding that control button the whole time. And if that wasn't bad enough, after a minute or so the lights go out, making the tape search harder. I love a challenge, but this seemed more like a chore than anything. Honestly, I'd rather play any other level than do this one again. Okay, let me see if I can say this correctly. Level 9223372036854775807, or the Assyrian stairwell. The concept is you climb the stairs until you see the level 94, then jump off to progress to the next one. There isn't much else to it than that. There's no entities, puzzles or obstacles. The only reason this level isn't the worst on my list is it doesn't take that long to complete, as floor 94 is only around 20 to 30 floors above you. However, one fun thing about this level is racing your friends to the exit to see who the fastest is. Now I know most of you can agree level 2 Pipe Dreams is not that great. The premise of this level is you run down an endless corridor with less stamina than a paralysed sloth. Towards the end you get chased by an entity that I call Fluffy, but it's probably just a smiler. Oh yeah, and did I mention you have to do this level twice too. Thankfully you can complete this level fairly quickly, and the best part is seeing what the entity looks like after you escape its charge. Next up we have level 7 Thalassophobia. So in this level you start by rowing your boat towards a lighthouse in foggy oceans with flooded houses everywhere. Personally I thought it was a missed opportunity for an entity that can grab you at any moment in the ocean, but it was good fun exploring the open map though. On the second part of the level, you dive down to the bottom of the ocean where an anglerfish tries to eat you. The aesthetics are absolutely breathtaking and then replicates what the fear of the open waters are. Again, it would be great to see an entity that would chase you here, but the only way to die is if you try to resurface again. I've kind of got mixed feelings about this next one, the school halls. It is a unique gameplay mechanic where we follow an NPC stealthily to avoid partygoers from doing who knows what to us. If this level was more dynamic, it would probably be higher up on my list. You know those pesky escort missions you have to do in some games? It kinda reminds me of that. With that being said, this level was true to the Backrooms lore and is a great interpretation of what the fun raw aftermath would have been like. I didn't grow up in America, but I would imagine this is what the American schools would look like, so it's got that nostalgic factor as well. On to the bumper crops. I think this level has a bad rap because it follows after such a great level. You're dumped in an overcast crop field with a faceless creep stalking you. At first he seems pretty shy, but when you reach the barn he turns it up a notch and chases you with a chainsaw. I mean, what's not to like? It seems like the classic horror theme. While avoiding Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you have to blindly navigate through electrical towers through fields of wheat. I think this level was done well, but in comparison there are better ones. The boiler room. I remember when I first played this level and was totally confused. If you know me, I'm like Zoro from One Piece and it doesn't take much for me to get lost. And this level is like a labyrinth that's extensive with killer giant moths lurking around every corner. I like the level design and I think the size was complex enough for a challenge, but not too big that it was frustrating. The one thing I found weird is the thermo gadget you get at the start of the level and throughout, and it detects like heat from the moths, but it was kind of useless because the heat was visible without it. This was a great level to troll as well, as you can get the moths to kill other players when chasing you instead of yourself. The cave system is similar to the previous one, the boiler rooms, because there's giant moths trying to eat you alive as well in this one too. This level is better though because the skin stealers towards the exit, which reminds you that you're still in the Backrooms and not some random cave. And the bridge was a nice addition too, great for trolling. By the time you get to this part of the game, your sanity meter is more of an annoyance than it is a feature, so having an abundance of almond water in this level really helps. The visuals throughout this dark level were surprisingly good too, but again there are much better levels than this. Next we have the abandoned office. This level reminded me of the Stanley Parable with its office-like atmosphere. The level wasn't all that scary though. The best feature of the level was probably its puzzles, and it was fun to figure them out. The level is completely safe with no entities, and I believe the level design compensated for that lack of horror. I was actually going to put this one lower in the list, but this moment bumped it up a few places. Sublimity, or the pool rooms, got its rank purely on its liminal space vibe. Out of all the levels, the visuals were absolutely stunning. Though there wasn't much you could do aside from walk around the place, there were maybe a couple places you can fall off the edge, but really there was no threat. If you played Silent Hill, there's this invisible water monster that lurks in the water wherever you go. It would be cool to kind of see that in this level. On multiplayer, it was cool that you get separated on spawn too, so that was another good point. The next horror level places you in a swamp with parasitic corpses slowly corrupting its surroundings. You better watch out because they will... Wait a minute, this ain't the Backrooms. The arcade was a short level with no threat, but was the epitome of nostalgia. There isn't much more that reminds me of my childhood than walking through an arcade. Nowadays, it would be easier spotting a unicorn than a retro style arcade. The tiny puzzle in this level was all it had though, and it would be fantastic to see the level expanded upon. If you played FNAF Security Breach, the first room kinda reminded me of that too. This is where the journey begins, Level 0. The iconic maze is what made the game so popular and really set the scene for the rest of the game. Aside from that glitchy balancing section, the level had a great design. The unknown of whether a bacteria was right around the corner keeps you on edge all the time. The maze wasn't too difficult either. If you're playing with randoms, it can be annoying to decide which of the two exits to go to though. But letting go of that rope while another player is climbing it is peak comedy. Level 188, or the Courtyard of Windows, is a really unique level and has lots of gameplay mechanics. You have window entities that stare into your soul and spider-like abominations gatekeeping the hotel. In this level you have to find 3 TVs and move them to the corresponding locations downstairs in the lobby. This level is pretty terrifying, especially with the entities' random patrol route. I reckon this would have made my top 3, but it gets pretty repetitious after moving that first TV. Oh, and including the mini version of this level where you have to use those lit windows as a passcode in this as well. Level 0.1 and 0.2 is the one where the Bone Thief guards the exit and you have to swap floors into the danger zone to unlock passage to switches. I enjoyed this level and the traffic lights, and no clipping between levels was a great mechanic. You also have that danger of the smilers and skin stealer below you too. I believe this was a great level in general, but sometimes it was a bit glitchy at times with the lights. I wish to see more of that Bone Thief in the future as well. Next up we have Run for Your Life. This level was a running sequence where multiple entities chase you through an obstacle course. It's a great change of pace and really demonstrates that sense of danger. However, it only takes about 30 seconds to finish, and it could have been longer with more checkpoints. This level takes skill, focus and memory to complete, which gives you a great dose of dopamine when you do. Level 1, the Habitable Zone. This level has many subsections with challenges that keep you awake. This is also a massive learning curve for most players as they introduce skin stealers and smilers to the player. My favourite section was the one with the 4 keys, and it was fun luring those skin stealers towards other players, and yes, I was that guy. The hub part of the level was a bit of a drag though, especially if you have to wait around for another player to solve the puzzle in multiplayer, but the level had a great variety, earning its place on the list. Level 94, or Motion, starts with a beautiful open grass field with hills. There are houses situated on the hills and occasional vans on the road that are stocked up with armed water. The aim is to hike towards the floating castle, which sticks out like a sore thumb in the sky. The danger is that when the night cycle begins, you better be hiding because of those little evil children want to kill you, and I'm not sure if you can avoid them. I've never actually tried. The second part of the level has you with a clown with the powers of an SCP, so if you look away from it, it will kill you. This level was a great all round, but if your computer wasn't powerful enough, it would often crash, and nobody likes that. Level 6, Lights Out. I know lots of people hate this level, but I quite enjoyed it. Going through this maze with nothing but a LiDAR scanner to navigate was a fun prospect. I thoroughly enjoyed getting lost with friends and figuring out where to go. Making a walkthrough for this level was fun because I mapped it out completely and can do it flawlessly now. The wretched entity needs a little work though, and can be a bit more challenging. Oh, and your sanity drains way too fast, which is annoying, but I guess it adds to the challenge though. I get confused on what to call this level. The Manila Room, level 0.11, water damage, whatever it was, it's a great level which rightfully earns itself in the top 10. You start with a puzzle and wake up in a maze similar to level 0. After that you have to use a chainsaw to uncover 4 switches that need to be pressed in time to open an exit. And a bacteria entity hunts you down while doing so, and all this makes for a good level, especially when playing multiplayer when all of you are running around like headless chooks. Level fun seems long at first until you work out the pattern. You have to stealthily bypass partygoers who chase you when spotted. This is the best level for trolling as you can block other players from safety, pop balloons to make other players seen, and the songs are fun too. It's a change of atmosphere and really lives up to its hype. Convincing new players to drink the liquid pain is all too worth it. If it weren't for some of the goated levels, this would probably be higher up on the list. The tunnel levels, or the last level of the game, currently has to be one of the challenging levels to date. And rightfully so, as it acts like the final boss of the game. You're given a camera and must take photos and locate images that it shows to you. The images get especially hard when you have to take ones of entities. This was the ultimate challenge to accomplish in the game. Though the elevator is slow, it is a great level, regardless of if you're playing single player or multiplayer. Level 3, the electrical station, is my favourite puzzle sequence. You're tasked to locate breakers that spawn randomly in every playthrough. The hounds make it terrifying and it's fun to watch them rip other players to shreds. You can probably tell by now, but I do like chaos. This level had the difficulty it should and leaves a lasting impression on you even after you complete it. It would rank a bit higher if the hounds didn't make my ears bleed though. Next up we have Level Fun Plus. What's not to like about this level? It has 4 subsections that provides a different experience with each one. The partygoers are such a great enemy to deal with and it definitely lives up to its name. It has puzzles and challenges and hosts a lot of activities you can do with your friends. Even the soundtrack suits the level. Honestly, I don't know what to criticize on this one. I rate this map 9 out of 11. Hotel Chase is everything I wanted Level Run for Your Life to be, and it pumps you with adrenaline. Honestly, if they made a whole game based on this level mechanic, I would 100% buy it. Every horror game needs a part where you run away from a true monstrosity. The clump is exactly that, and this level really works well. And the aesthetics are fresh and unique. I just wish there were more levels like this one. Terra Hotel, or Level 5, has a great attention to detail in this fancy hotel. The puzzles are great and exploring the hotel halls with skin stealers and hounds make it a true horror experience. Some people would disagree with me on this, but it really was an enjoyable level. If you memorise the codes, then you're able to skip it, but I think that would ruin the fun. Terra Hotel earns its place in the top 3 because of the horrors it bestows upon the player. Number 2, the Darkened Suburbs. Now you're probably thinking this was number 1, but this is my second favourite. This level had a lot of content, and the way it was executed was top tier. The giant eye monster, also known as the Neighbourhood Watch, keeps you on your toes, and the houses aren't much safe either. The skinless wretches used to be one of you, but this is a result of what happens when you run out of sanity. The story develops as you convert one of the entities into a friendly comrade. It really had a psychological shock value, and mixed with the level design it makes for a really enjoyable level. Which brings us to number 1. My favourite level is the Dark Pool Rooms. Similarly to the Sublimity level, I find the visuals to be the best. Not only that, but the level is extensive and eerie like it should be, especially when the clump is nearby. That floaty boaty is really what sells it to me though, because I've formed an emotional bond to it now. There are glitches and skips you can utilise too, and it's fun luring the clump towards unsuspecting friends. Even when I know I'm not going the right way, I like to check every corner because I feel like there's going to be a secret or some sort of cool thing I could find there. I think in each level there should be collectibles and that will increase the replayability of the game. Please comment down below what you thought your favourite level was, or if you agree with any of the rankings I've put there. And as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!